Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to go through my active trades that I took for the week, okay, and the ones I've closed, and then we look at the ones that I'll be watching coming this week, okay. So I took trades on these 5 pairs over here, and then we'll go through the other 5 pairs which we'll be focusing on in this coming week, and maybe others over here that we'll focus on the coming week, because the pairs are looking nice, patterns are shaping up nicely. So first we're going to go through Aussie Kiwi. As you can see, Aussie Kiwi, we were in this trade for, right now we're in this trade for like 2 weeks now. It's 2 weeks now. I gave even this one for free, and you can see the market is currently pushing nicely the downside, as you can see from the daily chart. If you go through the time frames, on 4 hours you can see the price consolidated in these regions, but we finally managed to push to the downside. So currently I'm just waiting to scale in on this pair. So I'm just looking if this push continues to correct over here, so that I'll take another entry in these levels for me to take the trades up to this area over here, okay. So that's my take on this one. Okay, so if you're still on this trade, just keep on holding, because it looks nice. Actually, this one looks nice. Next we're going to go through pound card. As you can see, pound card, we took this trade. I also gave this one this week. I gave this one for free in my Telegram channel. And you can see the price is currently pushing the downside. As we move my stop loss, I moved up to these levels over here. If I go down to our 1 hour time frame, we got our entry in these areas where I told guys to focus on for buys, and as soon as it came in this area, the market pushed the upside. So I moved my stop loss just below this wick over here, so that in case it pushes down again, I'll be taken out, okay. So I was close with around 119 pips, of which there was some nice profits, okay. So this one I'm currently out, but if the market decides to push again correctively up to this level, I'll be looking to get those buys that I'll continue their move to the upside, because the overall direction of this pair is to the upside. Because looking at the higher time frame, we had this pattern over here, okay. We had this pattern over here, and from this pattern we are on our third touch down here. So this one I'm seeing it as just another higher time frame correction, so that when we reach in these levels again, we can manage to push again to the upside and potentially move up to that 90% rule over here. So this pair looks nice. You just have to be patient on it, because it will give us some massive profits, okay. So let's go through other pair, which is euro dollar. We took a trade on euro dollar from my premium group. As you know, guys, I've started a mentorship program, and I also give my weekly trade analysis and signals over there. So we took a trade on euro dollar, okay. We took a trade on euro dollar over here. As you can see, the price, we waited for this impulse and a correction over here to continue to the downside. So my correction did go up to my level where I wanted to take my sales, and you can see I got in sales over there. But immediately I got in sales, the price pushed down, okay. The price pushed down, so I could have set my stop loss even to break even once the price is reached in these levels, but instead I just moved my stop loss to half of the risk, okay. Because this stop loss, it was initially big, but once the price moved, I moved my stop loss to around half of that risk that I previously had. And you can see the price pushed up again and took me out, okay, and took me out over there. But currently I'm not in any trade in this one, because this one was a loss, and it was a small loss actually of around 10 pips, and I'm not focusing on it right now, but I'll be looking to see if it will give us a sell trade over here, a sell setup, because we are still waiting for that correction to the downside of dollar pairs before continuing the push to the upside, okay. So next, let's go through Kiwi card. We also took a trade on Kiwi card over here, Okay, and we analyzed this on my Sunday session, Zoom session with my members. Okay, the mentorship program members. We analyzed this trade, and I told you guys that the value areas, I told them that the value area was in these levels, but this trade, if it just gave me a correction over here and breaks, I will enter after that break, and that's what I did over here. I entered after the break, and as you can see, the price played out. My initial stop loss was above. My stop loss was above over here, but once the price pushed down to break this lower trend line of mine, I moved my stops just to half of the risk. Okay, half of the risk over there. And when the price came back up, it took me out. Okay, it took me out with some around 20 pips stop loss. Okay, so once that happened, I realized that it might go to my value area at the top over here. So I waited for that sell setup over here. So as you can see, I managed to get the entry over here. As you can see, after this doji and a bearish candle, I managed to enter on that sell trade. So hopefully it will play out as expected, because I want this one, I'm taking it as a bigger correction of this setup up to these levels where I'll be looking for my buys. Okay, so let's see how it goes on that. Okay, and next, lastly, is through gold. Was a nice trade. Actually, this one was a nice trade, very nice trade. As you can see, the first entry I took was in this area because I was focusing on my level. So the first entry I took was in this area once on lower time frame. Once I saw the candle pushing back to the upside, I managed to get in with this long wick over here. Once I saw that rejection, I took the trade, and then the price pushed up nicely and then came back down. So immediately it formed this low over here and pushed the upside. I just did set my stop loss just below it, and you can see price came back down to tag me out. So once the price tagged me out, I waited for another entry. I waited for another entry down there at my value area, and I managed to get my entry after this hammer over here. For this hammer, I managed to get my other entry, of which I got in. After that, I waited to see if I can scale in on this market, and you can see I did scale in over here, and also my premium members got on this trade also. So we took it very nicely to the upside up to these levels. My first target was on the high over here, but once I saw what was happening in these areas, I took this as a correction for the continuation to the downside. So I notified the members to watch on these levels. Let me just bring up my Telegram channel over here so that I can show you guys. As you can see, with my premium members over here, I usually give them the analysis and what I've seen on the market. You can see this was gold over here, which I said I'm expecting the move to the gold more analysis on the Sunday webinar, which will be held today at the 8. And over here, I gave the trade, and then I have closed my gold trades at this approaching value area level. As you can see, I gave out the level that I saw the potential for reverse for a deep pullback over here. As you can see, I gave it over here, so I closed my trade in these levels, and I told them to look for sales over there. So going back to our trade, as you can see, the price did react to my level that I posted. Okay, it reacted to that level, and currently it's pushing down, but so corrective. So there is high chance of this price pushing back again to these areas and continue to the downside. But currently, I'm at break even because I won't take that chance. Okay, I'm at break even because the price has pushed nicely. I've already closed some positions on this trade, like 2 positions. So currently, I'm at break even in these areas. So I will be looking to scale in this market in case it pushes down impulsive. If it pushes down impulsive, I'll wait for that lower time frame, maybe 1 hour 15-minute correction, to continue this move up to these areas where I'll be looking to take my buys. Okay, so gold setup looks nice, and hopefully it will give us some nice profits, because as you can see, this was a bigger correction to the downside. So I'm expecting this move to push all the way up minimum to these levels over here. From this level, I expect to go up to these areas over here. So focus on this one, guys, because it looks so nice. So next, let's go through the trades, the pairs that I'll be focusing on this week. First, you are going to go through dollar card. As you can see, I have so many dollar pairs because dollar pairs are, to me, are shaping up nicely. Because we haven't had the bigger correction. Okay, we have moved quite impulsive to the downside, but we are yet to receive that, to get that correction to the upside. So first and foremost is dollar card. You can see we have this lovely 1, 2, 3 touch over here with it, which is forming extension. This extension, I'm seeing it reaching, okay, this is the potential value area over here. So if it manages to break my trend line over here, come back and give us a small correction over here, we'll take this one to the upside. So I'll be focusing on these areas over here, and then this push potentially will move over up to these levels where I'm focusing on my sales. Okay, so be alert on this one. Once the price starts to push the upside, we'll be focusing on this correction over here. Okay, so next let's go through pound dollar. Pound dollar has been pushing up corrective. Okay, pound dollar has been pushing up correctively, and currently I'm focusing on this pattern over here. Okay, I'm focusing on this pattern over here, which looks nice. There is a very nice pattern over here. Okay, with this pattern, I'm expecting the price to break this top, just to catch people who trade support and resistance on the wrong side of the market, because once they see this break, they'll know that the price will be buying, and so they'll go in for buys. And for us, we are waiting for that sell to the downside. Okay, so once they are trapped in those buys, we'll be looking for our sell setups potentially up to these levels, because we are expecting this one, expecting it to be a pullback, a deep pullback. So once the price reaches these levels is when I will look for our buy entries. So focus on sales on this pair up to that level over there. Okay, this one looks simple. Okay, this one looks simple enough for you guys to catch it, because the pair just looks nice. Okay, wait for this break to push the upside. Then once it has pushed up to that third touch, wait for that impact the downside, then correction, and then continuation. So we look for those buys, those sells from these areas, and again those buys from these areas. Okay, so be alert on this one. This one looks nice. It might be our setup of the week, you never know, but I'll let the members know that if it will be a setup of the week, or we'll be having another setup. But this one looks clean. It looks so clean actually. Okay, so next let's go through Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar also is forming up nicely. As you can see, we had this pattern of ours over here. And as you can see, currently we are at our third touch over here. We are at our third touch, for which I'm looking for sales in this market. Okay, if it extends, then I'll adjust my pattern to these areas over here. It will give us an extension, because it's likely to give us an extension. Okay, so if you give us the extension, will be focusing on these areas over here. So the pattern will still be focusing on our sell entries. Okay, so if it gives us an extension, we'll be focusing on this pattern over here, of which I'll be looking to see if it will give us that third touch over here, and then push the downside, tight flag over here, then push all the way to this area. So we'll be focusing for our buys from that areas. Okay, so be alert on this one also, as it looks quite nice. This one, Aussie dollar and Euro dollar, they are shaping up so nice. Okay, Aussie dollar and pound dollar are shaping up quite nice. So be alert on this trade, because dollar pairs are shaping up so nicely. So lastly, second last of our lists in our list is Aussie Swiss franc. Aussie Swiss franc has been moving so corrective. Okay, Aussie Swiss franc has been moving so corrective. As you can see from our daily time frame, we are having this correction over here. Okay, we are having this correction, and currently the market is pushing to the upside, and it hasn't touched my value area yet. Okay, my value area is in these areas, but currently the price is pushing to the upside. So let's go deep and see what's happening over there. And I managed to get in the inner pattern over here. So I am taking this inner pattern as a deep correction after this impulsive break over here. So I'm taking this one as a bigger expanding correction over here for potential drop to these areas where I'll be looking for my overall buys. Okay, so be alert on this one also. As you can see, the price is forming a very nice expanding pattern over here, but my value area my value area that I'm looking to focus on is on these levels. If in case it's pushing to the upside, I will be focusing on these levels so that I get that correction over here for this move up to this area. So I'm expecting an extension from this trend line of mine over here. I'm expecting an extension from this trend line. I expect it to break. Okay, so currently the price has pushed up nicely, so I'm waiting for it in my value area. As you can see, my value area to enter these buys in these areas. So I am waiting for this price just to push up to these areas for me to get those buys up to this area, where I'll look for another sell, and then from this area I'll look for another buy. So as you can see, I've already focused 3 moves on this pair. I've focused 3 moves on this pair. So hopefully, if it plays out, I'll be so busy with this pair because I'll be in and out immediately. Okay, I'll be so busy in this pair. So focus on this one, guys. First and foremost, focus on this area over here where we'll be looking to take our buys. Focus on this area. How the market will approach this area it's so important. If it reaches this point correctively, then we'll get that entry for our buys. So focus on these areas, guys. Focus on that area. Okay. And lastly, you are going to go through QEN. All yen pairs are shaping up nicely. So when I'm analyzing QEN, just know it's representing all the yen pairs currently. Okay. So as you can see with QEN, we have formed this nice correction over here. Okay, we have formed this nice correction over here, of which I'm looking for an extension of this pattern. I'm looking for an extension of this pattern for the move to the downside. So if I get the extension to this value area of mine, I'll be looking for those sells from this area for the down move, potentially breaking this low, because I'm focusing on my value area over here. So if it manages to break this low over here, I'll be looking to look for my buy entries over here, because we haven't gotten our deep pullback of this down move. Okay, so for me, I'm waiting for these sells up here to take it all the way to these levels, where I'll be looking for my overall buys, because with these buys there is high chance it might be continuation, because this move for me, it looks so corrective. This move for me, if you look to other pairs like pound yen, this move for me looks corrective. Okay, and I'm seeing it correcting this big push over here. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm looking for a big long-term move of buys from these levels to push all the way to these areas, maybe giving us double top or even breaking to the upside. Okay, so watch out on yen pairs. Currently we focus on those sells because it has formed quite nicely. Okay, so that's it for this week, guys. Okay, that's it for this week. Remember to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.